This is SJ's, where's his dad? This is his first year ever riding a dirt bike. Like, he only has, I can count on one hand how many months he's been riding a dirt bike, but he's progressed pretty darn quickly, actually quicker than I've probably ever seen anybody progress. For him, it's making sure that his body position is good enough to handle how fast he's willing to go. He's one of the types that, like, he is not afraid to twist that throttle. We just got to make sure everything's in line to do so. So these bumps right here are no joke for a 50, but I'm confident that if he's in the right position and those knees are back, he should be safe. SJ's biggest problem, and I noticed this right from the get-go, we worked at Bud's Creek the first time with him, was under deceleration, or really anytime he stands, the knees just start to creep forward. And on such a small bike, and him already starting to get big on the 50, as soon as the knees come forward, even just a little bit, you're throwing all of the weight to the front tire. So when you're talking hitting 3 or 4 big bumps, that bike is not gonna like it. You saw that last time he came through, he looked pretty good. He just let off the gas and coast, so we gotta keep him on the throttle through it. Alright, so even as I just pulled you off and you came skidding into me, the knees were too far forward. Stand up for me. Show me your attack position. There we go. See how you get those knees way far back? You're at that second rib, or almost pretty much at the third rib on your seat. Have to stay here. When you're out there riding, sometimes you forget and those knees end up here, which is a big problem. You did exactly what I expected you to do, which, do you know where you were letting off coming through here?
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
Good job. So you were letting off, you know, somewhere right in this area. What's the problem with this? Look at, you got 1, 2, 3 giant bumps. So right after, when you let off, you're putting all of the weight into that bike. So now you've made the bike as heavy as you can make it. Oh, for bump 1, for bump 2, and then for the grand finale, boom, the third one. You have to stay on the gas through these bumps. It's like hitting a set of Supercross whoops. You wouldn't see James Stewart come flying into a set of Supercross whoops and then let off at the first one. No, the most important are the first few and keeping that bike light and staying on top. Same thing for these braking bumps. Where that cone is, that's going to be your marker, but to be honest with you, it's pretty easy to just use this braking bump as your marker. Okay, do not let off until I get past that braking bump. When I say don't let off, that doesn't mean you have to go wide open and come 40 miles an hour through here. Even if you're just quarter throttle, barely on the gas, it will be smoother than what you were just doing and faster than what you were just doing. And I promise, and you can always trust me when I tell you something, if you stay in the right position and keep your knees back and don't let your knees do one of these and creep to the front, you won't crash. All you have to focus on is knees back and on the throttle. That's it. Even on a small wheelbase, you can trust that the bike is going to go through that stuff. He even got kind of out of position. You could tell he tensed up and got a little nervous, and it kind of like brought him to this here. So just a little bit thrusted to the front. But just that forward momentum and that was probably quarter throttle. It wasn't hard on the gas, but it was enough. Did you feel yourself getting kicked? I mean, it wasn't bad. Like, you'll see it on the video. It's not like it's about to make you crash, but it is giving you that little kick because you're cutting off the throttle right here. If anything, you should almost come in down the landing a little slower, just to build confidence at least. Go a little slower through the first couple, and then stay on the gas a little bit more. I just want you to see how the bike will react and gain trust in the bike. It seems like you're coming in hot every time, and every time you're like, oh, no, 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 no. And I can see you tense up. Your butt comes forward, everything comes forward. You kind of get into like this nervous, like a dog with its tail in between its legs. You just look nervous when you get right here. One other big thing, this isn't going to make the biggest difference in the braking bumps necessarily, but it's screwing you in the turns. Put your hands on the bars. Your today at least I'm noticing this big time. You're riding like this with your elbows right to your side. Open your grip up. There you go. Should be holding the grips like that. Like that. Elbows stay up. This is strong. This is weak. Because as soon as these elbows drop, guess what I can do? You can get thrown around like a rag doll. You put your elbows up like this. Look at it, you're sturdy. That makes a huge, huge difference. What he did, that was very smart of him. He did exactly what I told him, which was go extra slow down the hill. Like, forget about the speed you would go in a race. This is just to gain confidence here. He went extra slow there, and then he got on the gas and kind of skimmed those like a set of Supercross would. Yeah, there you go. It's all about creating that understanding of how the bike will react and building the confidence. That's all we're doing right now. And you can see each time he comes through, he's trusting that the bike is going to do what he wants it to do. Only thing you're doing is your entry is hit or miss, like you're coming in a little bit too slow. We don't need to create that crazy speed overnight, but just remember that from the landing of that finish line to this tire is your entry to the corner. Your entry to any corner is that one spot on the track where you're going to gain the most time. It's not the middle of the corner. It's not the exit of the corner, although all of those things are important. It's who can stay on the gas the longest and still get slowed down enough by this tire to comfortably take the corner. Because you're going to have some 50s letting off at the top of the tabletop. You're going to have some 50s letting off at the bottom. You're going to have some 50s letting off right where we're sitting here. That's 100, 200 feet of difference. That's 1 or 2 seconds. Easily. And that's a pretty easy time to make up. Once you figure that position out and you can learn that you're safe to go through those braking bumps at speed and to enter at speed and you get good at the braking, that's easy. SJ being so new to riding, one of the common things that happen, his dad said it right when they got here, is he's amazing at Budds Creek, but then when he goes anywhere else, he starts to get in his head, he takes too long to figure the track out. So flipping the script, and now he's comfortable going forward, so I said, all right, we're gonna just hit this section backwards. So now it's as if he's riding a completely different track. We'll just see how quickly he can adapt to this situation. Side of him. All right, use your legs, pick that thing up. A lot of the reason it takes less experienced riders so long to adapt to a new setting, to a new track, is because of where their vision is. If you're looking straight down in front of your front fender, the track's going to come at you faster. You're not going to be able to remember the track really at all. And you're just going to be riding it kind of for what it is, one section at a time, going from point A to point B, point A to point B. Where if you just open your vision up, pick your chin up, look ahead, things come at you a lot slower. You can anticipate, you can be creative and explore lines. And you'll be able to remember the layout a heck of a lot quicker. There we go. What we need to start working on is, just like we did that way, charge down the landing of this, charge into the rut. The difference with the rut going this way, SJ, is that this is all uphill, right? So if you hit the brakes or you slow down and you sit down here, the problem is now we have to re-accelerate just to get up to speed, just to even get to the tight part of the corner. You should be standing up, still accelerating through all of this mess. You shouldn't sit down until here and then roll the throttle on for the turn, but you should be carrying some serious speed through this part. So when you find yourself grinding against the inner wall of the rut, it means you have too much lean angle and not enough forward momentum. So he was a little hesitant on his entry speed, and then whether intentionally or unintentionally, he started to lean too much back here. So then, I don't know if you could see in the video, but he started to kind of like grind his front tire against the inner wall. So if you find yourself doing that, two options: either lean less or go faster for the amount of lean angle that you have. Well, good leg strength. Good job. All right. Hop off. So your dad's been counting. I haven't been. We're just going to call it 20 push-ups. Okay? 20 good ones. Solid. What are you at? 13, 14, 15, 16, 20. Solid. Most kids your age can't even do 20 push-ups. If you can't do 20 push-ups, you shouldn't be riding a dirt bike. You did those, no problem. Entry's a little slow still. You're doing a good job standing until the cone, but you have to remember, with this little bike and these little wheels, when you let off the gas, the bike's gonna stop pretty quickly, especially when you have a rut like this that's going up a hill. You need to carry your speed in. If I were you on this 50, I wouldn't be letting off until probably where you're standing. I'd be hard on the gas, down in, right to where you are. There we go. Now just turn. Now it's a push. Now turn. You can turn at that speed. Just turn your head and look where you want to. Now it's just putting the two pieces of the puzzle together. That speed and commit to the turn. That's all. He's not turning because he doesn't want to turn. He's not even looking at the turn yet, because he's afraid of how fast it's going. There we go. Now turn your head. Now turn. Turn.